Hi, everyone.
Welcome to Tuesday Night Knit Chat. My name's Noelle, and this is my friend,
Kelly.
And we normally come to you from Southwestern Ontario, but this week I am in Southwestern Ontario. But Kelly, tell us where you are.
I am in the Badlands in South Dakota tonight, and we are on, my husband and I and another two other couples are on a 3-ish week, maybe a little longer, journey across the United States, and our destination is Yellowstone. We have already been a few places, and this is our 3rd night in the Badlands. So yes, been doing a fair bit of hiking. It's incredibly hot here. It's very, very hot. One of our friends just said, "Oh, it feels like it's cooling down a bit." Yes, it's only 35 degrees now.
Oh, anyway, it was certainly not hot here. So
no, you look to be dressed
enjoy.
Quite a bit warmer than I am. Yes, I am enjoying it. It's a lot of fun, and I do have a couple of pictures that I'll share once we get into things. So, anyway, yeah, it's good to see you, Noelle.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, I think that while I was gone, and then by the time I got back, you were gone. And when you get back, it'll only be a few days, and then I'm gone again.
I think by the time we see one another, we will have not seen one another for about a month and a half. But thankfully, we can still get together this way and get together with our knit chatters in the cafe and hang out and do all the things that we do. Thank goodness for Streamyard, which lets us do this basically anywhere that we travel. I actually could have podcast live in the Badlands tonight, but it's so stinking hot that I didn't think, just for the benefit of having a nicer background, that it would help. So I think by next week I may be in Mount Rushmore, and we'll see what's going on there. I may do a live stream outside. We'll see.
Yeah. So we are a mostly knitting podcast, and and this is our live that we do every Tuesday night. So welcome to everybody. I see that there's lots of people in here already, and welcome to anybody that's new. And this is kind of just our little Tuesday night get together where we discuss some things that are going on in our lives, but mostly knitting. But we do a few other things too. Kelly sews, we both crochet. I do a little bit of weaving and spinning. So we've usually got some things to show. We usually get something done in a week sometimes.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Although I have no finishes tonight. So just so you know, yes, I've been doing a lot of looking and not so much knitting. But Sarah, I'm in South Dakota. So and it's pretty remote here too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to my sister today, and she's actually in Tennessee, and they're staying kind of where their cabin is a little bit remote. She said the bears are terrible. Like she said, they have bear horns. She said like they're on the deck. So
I brought bear spray. I hope not to have to use it. If I get close enough to a bear that I need to use bear spray, I think I'm already in a world of trouble. But we have seen, we were out after we did our hike yesterday, we were out driving and we did see some antelope. We saw massive jackrabbits, the ears on these things. We saw mule deer last night. Today, I didn't get to see it. Our friends had to go in for an appointment into town. She's got a sore tooth. It's bad timing. They saw a herd of buffalo, and that's rare for exactly right here. And so they were pretty chuffed about seeing the buffalo. And I'm excited to see that once we head towards Wyoming. But
yeah.
Okay.
So did you have any questions?
No, I will admit, since we have been on the road every day, this is our first time that we stopped for longer than a day. I haven't been really keeping up too well with our questions. So I'm going to rely on you for that this week.
Okay. Well, we have a few. So first of all, last week we had talked a little bit about the Palmer clay to make the little needle tighteners, and
Yes.
Julia let us know because somebody asked whether you had to bake it or whether or not you could just let it dry. So Julia said that with the clay that she used, you have to bake it at 275 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 135 degrees centigrade, for 15 to 30 minutes per quarter inch of clay. So depending on how big around it is, and I believe that the one that Julia made us was probably about half an inch maybe. So she may have had to bake that for maybe 30 minutes to 25 minutes. So, but yes, you do have to bake it. So that was the basic question: whether you could let it dry or whether you could cook. Okay, and then the next question was one of our viewers wants to Aletho cardigan. I believe it's patterned by Natasha, and she wanted to know. She wanted a yarn that's not scratchy and something that's probably Aran weight, but that still had quite a bit of wool in it. Now, I'm not the one to ask about not scratchy yarn, because scratchy yarns don't bother me. So, someone said my internet's cutting out.
It's your sound. Actually, I thought it was just my earbuds, but no, it's.
Can you hear me now?
I can now. Can you hear me now?
Okay. I can.
Okay.
I don't know if it's my earbuds. Maybe it's these. No, I don't know. Is everything okay now?
It is now. Yes. Well, it is for me.
Can you hear me?
Isabel says it's okay, and I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take this out because I think it's this. Just a minute. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I can't hear you though.
But you won't be able to hear.
Wow. Oh, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
No, but the problem is it's going to echo now. That's why we wear the earpieces.
Okay. Well, let me try it again. Okay, let me just go back and okay, good now?
Good now.
Okay. Anyways, let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, the Letho. So does anybody have a suggestion for about an Aran weight yarn, but that's soft, but still has a good amount of, I don't know, wool or natural fiber? Like I think of the Barocco vintage.
I was just going to say that.
Quite soft, but I think that it's actually a little bit on the fine side of a worsted, and so not so much Aran. The only other one that I could think of would be the Barocco Remix. Now it's not wool, but it is a really soft Aran weight yarn. Oh, okay. So Carla says Drops Nepal. Yes. So the Drops yarns you can actually order from Wool Warehouse, and they're actually quite reasonably priced. And I believe that most of them have a fairly good color range. So that's a good suggestion. So thanks, Carla.
Yeah. Julia saying, what about the Barocco fluffy cotton that Little Red Mitten had? We haven't tried that one yet, Julia, and we're waiting. We're waiting on some feedback. Jillian was going to do a sweater and let us know.
Okay, Cumulus, I believe, is Juniper Moon Farms. Oh, and Joanne says Drops Air, and she did a Letho in it, and she said it worked out beautifully, and it was soft and light.
Nice.
Okay, so Cascade 220. I know that I'm fine with Cascade 220, but I know that some people do find that the non-superwash Cascade 220 is a little bit itchy. So if you're really sensitive, that might not be, I'm not sure that everybody would class that as a non-rustic yarn.
Right.
So, but I do know they do have a superwash version too. So that might be a little bit different. Yeah, so those are some good suggestions. So I hope that helps. And then the next question was about using Knit Companion. And what do you do if you've got a pattern that's not online and is not on Ravelry? So you can't purchase it online. You can't purchase it on Ravelry. It's in a book. I take a picture of it. And then I upload the PDF into Knit Companion.
Same.
So I don't know if anybody else, I guess you could scan it, right?
You can scan it. So if you have, I don't know about Android phones, but I do know that my iPhone has an option that I can scan a document with my camera, and then that creates a PDF, and then you would be able to upload your PDF directly from your phone into Knit Companion and use it just like a regular pattern. Yes.
Yeah. The only problem that I found with doing that, and I have done it, the only problem if you're doing a picture in a book and you can't get the page out really flat, it actually can affect
if there's a graph.
Only if you're putting in a graph or something, because then your graph lines will be off a little bit, but it's still better than nothing. So. Okay, so Joy said she ended up buying the Estelle Baby Llama Air. I've never heard of that one.
I haven't tried that one either.
Yeah, so make sure that you let us know how it works out, Joy, and whether it works up in the air and weight, and whether you get a nice soft fabric in the end. So
for sure.
Okay, the next question was about Antigone, and Antigone is 100% linen yarn by Durera Natura, and the question was, it's already been made, still feels a little bit what do you call it? Crunchy, stiff.
Crunchy, stiff.
Is it okay to put it in the dryer? I have not done that yet. I find I blocked mine, laid it out, wore it, and it didn't bother me at all wearing it. And it did soften up a bit as I wore it too. I don't know. Has anybody put it in the dryer?
I'm still working on mine. So the answer from me is no. I just blocked it. I will admit, after I blocked it, I did still feel that my blocked piece was a little crunchy, but I think after a few washes, I think that would settle in for sure.
And I do find that linen, every time you do block it or get it wet, it kind of gets that crunchy feeling again. But once you've had it on your body for a little bit and your body,
the heat, I think it's the heat from your body.
Yeah, kind of helps it to relax a bit. So, okay. And then the next question was actually for you, Kelly. What size are you using to do your Mike's socks in the Croy? What size needle?
I'm using a 2.25.
Okay. And do you not find that stiff?
No, not at all. Not at all. But not at all stiff, but I'm just thinking it's because I'm definitely, like, if I'm just comparing my knitting to your knitting, Noelle, I know that I knit looser than you. You might find that yarn a little stiff on a 2.25.
I find it
I don't
stiff
know.
On a 2.25.
You find it too stiff, but actually, and I was planning to show it later, but I'll talk, because I don't have that one finished either, but I'll show you so you can kind of see like the play. It's, to me, it doesn't feel like at all stiff. It's quite soft.
Right.
There we go with a hand in it. Like it's good. And like you can see the stitches and everything. So for me, no, I don't really even notice a difference working with it, other than I know that it does knit up a little bit heavier. It's a bit thicker.
What's your stitch count?
Oh, well, I don't know that. Oh, you mean how many stitches do I have on here?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I know that. I have 60. I cast on 68 stitches, and I've had this on my foot, and Mike's foot is wider than mine, and this would have been just a little bit too loose for me. So I know it's going to be a perfect fit for him. But.
Okay. So Julia says, with the Antigone, because Julie, I believe Julie did the Mid-Ocean Tea by Beth McDonald Stone.
Yes.
And she said if you scrunch it and move it around, then you can get some of the crunch out of it. So,
and another suggestion in here is to add conditioner. And I know that I've heard that time, and I've never done it. Oops, hit my mic. Sorry. That's what that black dot is, if anybody's wondering. That's what's holding my mic inside my dress. So I've never actually used the conditioner trick, but I know lots of people do. So I'm assuming that that would be safe to use on that as well.
Okay. And Tracy says she also uses a 2.25 on the Croy. So it all depends on how you knit, because like I do a 72 stitch sock, and I just find it's just for me and how I knit on a 2.25 for Croy is just a bit too tight. So yeah, I usually go up to a 2.5. Having said that, there are Croys that feel a little bit different. Not all of the Croys feel exactly the same.
Yes, that red and blue, gray rag marl, that one is finer, definitely finer.
So
this one is heavier.
Depends. Yeah. So.
And the solids also don't seem to be as thick as the patterns.
I think some of the solids are. Now, again, the solids could depend on the color of the solid.
Yes. Yeah, it could.
No, because I know that I've got the fawn color and I find it's quite thick, but I don't think the red color felt as thick.
Okay.
So it's hard to know. So right. With Croy, you just kind of do your best guess and see what. I think if you started, you can probably start with your rib on a smaller needle and you'll get a pretty good idea by that whether or not you need to go up for the body of the sock.
Absolutely, because if you're not happy with the rib, for sure, that's where things are going to appear. So
your rib can be a little tighter, right? Your rib can be a little tighter, so you won't necessarily have to rip it out, but you'll know whether or not by the feel of it whether you should go up for your sock or not. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then the last question was about, again, could we kind of explain when we talk about blocking and when we use pool noodles to help block. So, and this is a personal preference because everybody likes their garments blocked differently. Like Absolutely. I don't like to have like a big fold line down my sleeves. So that's why I use pool noodles. So I have cut pool noodles up into various sizes. And when I'm blocking a sweater, I lay it out on a blocking mat and I will put a pool needle down each sleeve. And then I will also put a pool needle down each side seam so that it's rounded too. Now, some people like to have that fold line and fold line down here. So it all depends what you like. But you can get pool noodles in various sizes. Mm-hmm. So depending on the width of your sleeve, for here, it doesn't matter so much. You're just kind of putting it in to get rid of the fold line that would be down here. But I know for baby sweaters, I know, Kelly, you said you use some PVC pipe or something.
No, it's pipe insulation. You can buy it at like a Home Depot. And so the
is it like a foam thing?
It's exactly like a pool noodle, except for it's gray and it's probably only, I don't know, like maybe 2.5 inches in diameter. So it's perfect for those little baby sleeves.
Okay. And I have, like with the baby sleeves too, I have used like just the empty rolls off your paper towel or toilet paper because they're nice and round. And
do you wrap them in saran wrap or do you find they're okay to use the way they are?
I find that they're usually, when you blocked it, you've already squeezed enough water out of it that it's really not that bad. But if you do still have a lot of water in your garment, then I would suggest wrapping it in plastic wrap just to keep them, or just to like not have it soak down into the paper towel. So, and then another question was about blocking. We were talking about blocking a shawl. And so did you block your crocheted shawl that you just finished?
I did.
Okay. So did you have a space wide enough to block it?
I did. Okay, so here's my procedure. I lay it out firstly on the big dining room table, all of my blocking mats, and then I get my wires out for a shawl. And then once I have it all pinned and blocked where I like it, I precariously pick the thing up, carry it sideways, shimmy up the stairs to the guest room, and I lay it out on the guest bed. And sometimes it sort of overhangs, but I find that the blocking pads stick together well enough. And plus, you're pinned in place and all of my blocking wires are in place. And then I turn my ceiling fan on high and close the spare bedroom door and go back 2 days later and check the progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that I've had some pretty large shawls that I'm doing, like where the wingspan is really big. And oftentimes that's in a shawl that's got a center spine. So I have, if you've got a shawl that's perfectly symmetrical on each side, has a center spine, I have folded those in half and blocked them that way.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then,
I guess you could.
Then you can match up exactly your ends. So then you're getting each side of the shawl exactly the same. You've blocked it exactly the same width from the center spine. Yeah, so I have done that occasionally. So. Okay. And I think
Isabel's going back to the pool noodles. She says that when she blocks a sleeveless tee, she just puts the pool noodle through both holes and suspends it as it is. And then she said,
and then you won't have those lines at the shoulders.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a good idea as well. Thanks, Isabel.
Yep. And where do you get blocking?
She also says she wishes she were a fly on the wall to see me precariously tiptoe up the stairs with that. Yeah. It's quite an event, Isabel.
Yeah. Okay. Someone asked, where do we get blocking wires? A lot of knitting stores have them.
Yes.
I originally.
Go ahead.
I think I originally got mine from. I can't remember. I thought knit picks.
Mine are not actually knitter's blocking wires. They are the 3-foot long stainless steel welding rods that I purchased a canister of, I think 30 of them for $8 at Princess Auto. They do have sort of a flattened end on them. So my husband just snipped those off and ran the tips over the grinder to make them a smooth end. And then I have quite an unlimited supply. So, and some of them he even cut in half. You know, sometimes you don't need that full long length that I would have of the 30 inches. So you only need half of that, or, you know, a little bit more to make a long wire. And so that's what I use.
Right. And Joanne suggested that if you do a shawl where you fold it in half, you could actually even put the pool noodle down the center, and that will keep you from getting that solid.
That's a great idea too. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great idea. So, okay. So, shall we move on? You already said you don't have any finished. Oh, well, we could go to what we're wearing.
I am wearing the least, I did not make this dress. It's just a linen purchase dress. It is the least amount of clothing possible that I can get away with without being naked. So, okay. And you?
Okay. Well, I am wearing the Kindred Crop. Let me just find the Kindred Crop by Brianna Arlene. And this is done in the Knitting Loft Cardi. So this is their 50% hemp, 50% merino. I believe it's DK weight. And the colors, my contrast color is Summer Love, and my main color is Plum. And I do have a picture. And it was very enjoyable. Like the color work just went so quickly when you're doing it. And
it's a beautiful sweater too. I had not even ever seen that pattern until you knit that sweater.
There we go. So like I find for a day like today, where it was probably about maybe 19, 20 degrees out today, and the house is a little cool, I have the windows open. It's perfect for that. I'm not sure like in the middle of summer, because it does have sleeves that come down to my elbows. Like I'm not sure like where you are, Kelly, whether I'd be wearing something like this right now or not.
Most assuredly you would not.
So basically this took about 60 grams of the contrast color and not quite 2 full 100-gram skeins of the main color. So I really like the pattern. I could see doing it again although we always say that and we never do it again, but I could see doing it in a long sleeve version for the winter.
Yes.
I think it would be nice even without a variegated yarn up here. You could just use a solid colored yarn in here. Mm-hmm. You could do it as a low contrast. I did modify a little because the pattern actually goes straight across here. And I kind of like the look of not straight lines. So I just adjusted it so that I could have like kind of like a wavy line across there. And then I adjusted the trim a little bit that I put at the bottom because I believe it was supposed to have the hem in the same color as the neck. And I just liked it better just in the main color. So
it looks beautiful.
But it was a fun knit. She has a new pattern out today, I believe, called the Paintbrush Tank.
Okay.
I didn't put a picture in here, but it's got like a design all around here, and I really like it too. I might have to, but except I would convert it into a full sweater, because we're getting to the point now where, you know, we're going to have to start thinking about what we're wearing in fall.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're not thinking about that right now where you are, but
well, strangely enough, I've only worked on woolly things. I did bring my Kutar top, but I haven't been knitting on it at all. It would be fine to work on. Well, okay, so I was trying to find easier projects to work on in the car, because I don't want to be like just focused on my knitting in the car. I want to see all the things. So I've been working on projects that I don't really need to look at that I'm knitting, so that my hands are sort of still moving, but I'm looking. And then I'm frequently putting the knitting down because I'm taking pictures as we go, or helping out with some navigation, or feeding Mike's with snacks, or, you know, things like that in the car. So there's been a lot less knitting than I would have expected. And clearly yesterday and today here, no knitting, because it's been warm. But I've done some campfire knitting at night, and that's, you know, not a great amount, but
yeah. Okay. So do you have any finished objects?
No, I don't. But I want to comment that a couple of people in here, Darcy and Frankie, are just saying that they just got home from Knit City, Calgary. I hope you had a great
I
time,
know.
ladies. We
That looked
love the Knit
amazing.
City events. It did. And you know what? You know it's a big deal when actually Mike said to me, something about this on the weekend. He goes, Cal, he goes, I can't believe you're here. Do you know it's Knit City, Calgary? And I said, how do you know it's Knit City, Calgary? I guess he's been getting notifications on his phone too, or things popping up on Instagram, because when he likes things that I've posted that are knitting related, I guess he's now being fed knitting related items as well. And I said, well, yeah, but I'm here instead. So I'm pretty sure they'll be, I don't know if they're going to do Calgary every year or if they're going to.
I think they're doing every other with Vancouver, like they're doing with Montreal and Toronto.
Okay, so that's, future years that maybe we could plan to go. It did look like a lot of fun. I've only been using internet once we're parked for the night, so just Wi-Fi, and the few photos that I have seen that people posted. I know Stacy posted.
I know Stacy posted some.
Yeah, and it looks like everybody had a great time. So that's good. That's good.
Yep. And Flock was just the weekend before too. So like. It didn't used to be there was a whole lot going on in August, and now.
Well, I think, they're running out of months to have knitting festivals in, because all of the winter months are gone with other events. So they've got to move into summer. But anyway, it's good. Very good. All right.
Okay, so finished objects. I have
no finishes. Some very close to. No, I said I have none. I have some close to finishes, but. Okay.
So my first one is I finished these socks.
Very nice.
So these are just plain vanilla, perfectly plain vanilla socks, and they are done in Pixie yarns, and this is her rainbow sock set. So it's really cool how these socks knit up, like how the stripes worked out. It was a set that I actually won on another podcast. The set was a 50-gram main color and a 20-gram mini. And I think I still almost have enough left to do a pair of baby socks. So it worked out really well. I just did an afterthought heel because I didn't want to break up the stripes. I wasn't sure what it was going to do. I did my toe in the same too, because again, I didn't want to go narrower with the main because I didn't want the pattern to kind of shift. And I did a rounded heel as well as a rounded toe.
Yeah.
So, and just did a little pop of color at the top of the rib. I think I just cast on with an alternating cable cast on, and did one row, a joining row, and then switched to my main color. But it just like these went so fast considering they were plain socks, but you just wanted to keep getting the next stripe in there. So they were perfect knitting. I think I knit almost one of them on the car ride home from Muskoka. So they were perfect for that. So didn't have to concentrate on anything. And I think they are really cute. So, and again, she does still dye, but I am not sure whether she dyes that colorway, but she does still have a shop. So I will link it in the show notes. There will be show notes this week. I will link it. And if you want to go check it out, I'm not sure whether or not she still dyes that particular colorway or not. So, okay.
Next.
Okay. Next.
They're so cute.
Oh, this is Frog and Froggy Sweater. And this is a pattern by Claire Garland. And the little sneakers I just ordered them off Amazon.
Yeah.
And they came in a package. Like I've got a few more sets. So the frog's got his little eyes in there, and I've got a couple of pictures. But before I show the pictures, he also has a buddy.
Oh, well, you can never have just one frog.
No, look at they were so much fun. And I thought they'd be really fiddly, but they really weren't that bad. And they really don't take that long to make, and they don't take very much yarn. So this first one is actually done. They're both the same. The frog main color is actually the same in each, except for this one I held with like a kind of a rusty colored mohair, and this one I held with a pale green mohair. And then their bellies Their bellies are just like a Rama in the light gray. I know
Well,
Ross
think
goes, well,
about
why are you
that
knitting?
soft underbelly.
Ross is going, why are you knitting their bellies a different color when you're just going to cover it up with a sweater? I said, well, you might want to take a sweater off one day.
He might he may come to the Badlands and it may be too hot to wear that sweater.
Well, that's true. And the little sweaters are leftover timber yarn, self-striping yarn.
Very cute.
So like, you know, I
Very
just
cute.
have that little bit left. Like I think the
Yes.
sweaters only take about 10 grams of yarn. So I've got a couple of little pictures where I posed
Stage them.
So there you go. He's just sitting on his little chair there. Oh, then, you know, buddies with each other. They're like, I am having so much fun playing with these things. It's like, and of course, my grandchildren have seen them. So like now I have to
They
make
all want
7.
one. Yes. Yes, of course.
Their parents want them. So anyway, I definitely have to make at least 4 more pairs because I have 4 more pairs of shoes.
Absolutely.
Probably I have to buy some more shoes because I'll have to make them all one.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just like, they're even just cute the way they sit and their legs hang, and those little shoes are just like
the cutest. Who was it that we saw that had those? Was it?
They had them.
Irene.
They had some. Yeah, they had some
Irene
kits or
had
something
some, yes.
at Elgin Knitworks because they had little kits done to.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. But like it's a perfect, the little sweater is a perfect way to use up any of your leftover self-striping yarn, because the actual sweater that she did, like the pattern, you actually go in and stripe it. But this way you can just
much easier.
Yeah. I did do some color management. So, and I did do an alternating cable cast on for the start, and I did do the alternating cable bind off for the bottom hem and the sleeves. So when I got to the sleeves, I actually cut yarn to make sure that my sleeves on both of them, I wanted my sleeves to match. So,
and Amy, you're right. Definitely frogs need to come on the raft with Pearl the Possum, I think.
Oh, for sure. I'm going to have to build a bigger raft for sure.
We're going to be building an ark at this point.
Yeah. Isabel, I don't know if they're going in Christmas stockings. Isla and Molly, I've seen them, and Isla just saw this one and she's like, I really like that guy. I really like that guy.
Yeah, super cute. Super cute.
So anyway, and really not.
How do you get the shoes to stay on? How do you get the shoes to stay on?
Well, their feet are like, I'll take a shoe off and show you. Their feet, well, no, I don't have to. Their feet are like this.
Okay.
Like the hands, where they've got like webbed feet. So they actually, and the hole in the shoe is pretty small. So once you stuff it in there, it pretty much stays. So
good.
Anyway, yeah, very fun.
Oh, so and your eyes. Susie's asking where you got the eyes. I know I
just ordered them on Amazon.
Yes.
Well, you have real frog eyes. Mine are just the little black.
Yeah.
So I just ordered a pack on Amazon of all different sizes. Like, so I've got them for whatever, like they were, I think it's 300 pieces or something. And they're really easy to put in. Mm-hmm. And who knows, I might do a Susan B. Anderson toy. It wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No,
and
they're fun. The little toys are fun.
Yeah, hers is the same where you actually pick up the stitches for the legs right onto the body, so you're not sewing it on.
Yes, with Susan B, you start with the animal and you work your way right through. There are no pieces, nothing to stitch together later. No. I really do enjoy making her animals for that reason. Yes.
So someone asked the pattern. So there's 2 patterns. One is just called Frog, and it's a pattern by Claire Garland. And the other one is also by Claire Garland, but it's called Froggy's Sweater.
Froggy's Sweater.
So, and I looked through her stuff. She's actually got some pretty cute patterns. Yeah. There's like, and some of them she actually does where she puts wire in them. And I thought, I don't know if I want to get into that. Like those are really cute, just the way they hang, and you can sit them on
anywhere. Yeah. So Vicki is reminding you too that there's a pattern called Frog and Toad by Christina McGowan, and they're very cute too. And I've seen that book. Okay. I think it's a book. It's very cute. Mm-hmm. And they have, I think, wardrobe changes and whatnot for them as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I could make them more sweaters, right? Like that.
Well, you could make them seasonal sweaters.
You know what I thought? I really want to make this little guy like a little yellow beret to put on the top of his.
Absolutely.
Do that. And then I was thinking of doing like a female one and making her a little shawl that she could just tie.
Perfect. Perfect.
This is getting out of control. Okay, back to real knitting. Well, it is real knitting.
It is real knitting. It's fun.
But it was fun. It was fun. So it's just every time I do one, then I end up having to make 7. So, okay. So that's all of my finished.
Okay. So we could move on to what we're working on.
Sure.
I had cast on itis in the car or the truck, I guess. I just kept thinking, well, I've worked on this today. Now it's time to cast something else on. So I guess maybe I'll start with the socks for Mike. So I am, and he keeps asking, are my socks done yet? And I said, well, it's not like you're going to be wearing them anytime soon. But anyway, so this is the Crochet sock that I'm making for Mike. And I'm just doing a simple cable down the front. Oh, we're going to get some sun. I might have to close that blind a bit. Yeah, so just a double cable on either side, because then it won't annoy me if he wears the cable on the wrong side. This way he can't do that. So it's just, and I'm doing the cable every 6th row. And so 2 purl, a 4-stitch cable. I'm also flipping the cables in opposite directions because I like that too. I want them to go in different directions. And I think I did maybe like 62 or 63 rows for the leg. Okay. And then I'm just using a black, thought I had the band. It's an Estelle Yarns alpaca for the heels, because he wanted just plainer colors. I thought they would have looked really sharp with a red heel and a red toe, or even like a citron yellow. Yeah. But one viewer reminded me that I like my socks the way I like them, so I should let Mike have what he wants. And you're right. You're absolutely right. I will let him have what he wants. He wanted black. He's getting black. So I don't have much left to do on these, actually. He doesn't have a very long foot, so that's pretty easy. So I think I have, I don't know, maybe another 20 rows or so, and then I'll be able to put the toe in. And I did an afterthought heel, just a standard. So I decided where I wanted it to go. I wanted to split that gray stripe, and so it just worked out perfectly. And the color of this Crochet yarn is called Eclipse. So yeah, just a basic sock. Easy peasy knitting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm working on my Smoked Orange by Tia Coleman. And let me just find the, okay, and this is, I've gotten actually to the point, it's just like a cropped cardigan. So I've actually gotten to the point, I just split. So I'm working on one of the fronts. So I just got to the point where I just split for the, like, split the body into sections. So, and here's the pattern. So I am doing this in the Fiber Co. Cumbria, which is a blend of, I think it's merino, masham, and mohair. This color is called Nutkin. So it's a DK weight yarn, and I'll just show you a picture of the pattern here. These pictures are also small when I look at them. I can never find the, there we go.
We have a lot of pictures in there too.
I know. So this is the pattern. So it's a V-neck cropped cardigan. So I am at the point now where I've split. So hopefully, I got distracted by frogs. So hopefully this will now see some more love. But I'm really enjoying it. The pattern is pretty easy to remember. It's just an 8-row repeat. So it's pretty easy to remember. I found little tricks of using crochet hooks and things to do these little bobble things. So they're not as difficult, because they are knit 5 together and knit 5 together through back loop. But there is a way that you can do it where it's a lot easier. First, the one for just the knit 5 together, you just put your yarn over the needle and pass the stitches over one at a time. And then for the through the back loop, I just stick a crochet hook in, because you can go in at the start of your stitch and pull it loop through, and it makes it a lot easier. So I am really enjoying that. And now that a couple of frogs are done, I'll get back to it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Kathleen is asking if I can recommend a sock pattern for a rounded toe. I'm trying to think. of a pattern that specifically has the rounded toe. There is that's toe up though. So Noelle, do you know where it is that you've linked our rounded toe recipe?
Nope.
Could you put it again below? It's not.
Yep.
And then maybe type that after the title of this episode so that we can find it again later. So the way,
it won't be, but it'll be in the show notes, so it won't be in this. So
right. So the way that I do my rounded toe, Kathleen, is just that I do a decrease. I knit 3 rows regular, a decrease row, and by decreasing, you're decreasing 4 stitches, one on either side, front and back, like top of the foot, bottom of the foot. So a decrease 3 rows plain, a decrease 2 rows plain, a decrease 1 row knitting, and then I decrease every row down to 12 stitches on top and bottom needle, and then I Finchley graft off. And yours is very similar to that, Noelle?
It's very similar. Mine's a little bit longer. Like I start with a decrease row, 3 regular rows, a decrease row, 2 regular rows, a decrease row, 2 regular rows, then every other for 3 times. And then, so my toe probably ends up maybe about a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch longer than Kelly's. So, okay. I know it's in an episode. If I can find it, I'll, you know what? I'll make up a slide for next week. I'll put the slide in, and then we'll do that. We'll label that episode so that you can go back to that episode and go back and see what the formula is. Because that way it's easier. All you have to do is bring it up, and Kelly can timestamp it so that you'll be able to go in and just see where it is. Yeah. So.
Wendy's pointed out that Nancy Wheeler has a rounded toe recipe as well. And I think she uses it on maybe every single one of her patterns because she does really like it. And I have used it too. I used it on my Titty Gaga socks. And it's again, it's similar to what we do. It's just ever so slightly different. And then Lisa's also saying that the Rose City Roller socks has a rounded toe. So you could find that as well.
Yeah. So I'll do that, and that way it'll be up on the screen and you'll be able to go and look at it. So
yeah. Okay. What else do I have? Okay, so then I started something else new because I did. So I started making. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe the passing of time. But little Miles is starting preschool in September. He will be 3 in October, and I don't know how that happened. So he is actually starting at 2 preschools, and one of them is an outdoor school. So rain or shine, they are outside. And I wanted to make him a little sweater, so I cast on a flax cardigan for him. And I'm just using the Barocco Vintage. So I am putting the garter stitch down the side of the sleeves as the regular pattern suggests. There is no short row shaping in this one. You can put it in, but actually when I was reading through the pattern, they said that they recommend for children under 6, you don't put in the short row shaping because then the sweater can be worn either way. So there's no worrying about a front to back. And I thought that was a really clever tip for young children. So I've obviously all the way down, and I have split for the sleeves. Kendall sent me a measurement the other night of where she wants the sweater to end. And this is just in trying to think. I think it's oats. Oats is the color.
Yeah, I think it is. Yep.
Yeah. So it's just a really nice, soft oatmeal color. And then I plan to do some embroidery along the bottom. I'm shamelessly copying the little sweater that Sarah did. And in the book, the embroidery book that she bought and I have as well is there are some leaf patterns, and I thought that would be perfect for an outdoor preschool. So I'm going to do a little assortment of leaves all the way around the border of the bottom of the sweater. But yeah, it's so cute, so soft. This Barocco Vintage, and
I know
again,
it's nice.
It's and it comes in beautiful heathered colors. And the benefit of it is that you can it's cotton, but there's an acrylic mixture in there as well. And did I bring the band? No, the bands are at home. Sorry. But there's acrylic in there as well. So it is easily washable. And for a little person, a little people sweater, I think that's kind of something you should really be thinking about too.
Yeah. So
okay.
Okay. So my next work in progress, is my Seaborn tee. And this is a pattern by, I can't remember, but I know it's in here. There we go. What did I do here? That's not it. Okay, it's the Seaborn Tee by Herb Garden Knitwear. And again, there we go. So this is done, I think that the recommended yarn for it was either Sandins Garnlina or Drops Bell. So I am using a combination. I'm using the Drops Bell as my main color, and I'm using the Sandins Garnlina as my stripes. So I've got, I don't know how to hold this up. It's hard to hold up when you're doing bottom-up sweaters to hold them up to show them. So I'm done. I've split for the sleeves. So you can see there's like kind of like a textured lace pattern that goes around the bottom. I've split for the sleeves, and I've got the back pretty much where I want it.
Great. I love those colors. It looks so
good. I really
good.
like the colors. And I really, honestly, knitting them together, I really can't tell the difference between the Sandins Garnlina and the Drops Bell. So just a matter of, they do come in different colors, so it's just a matter of which one you like. So in the pattern, like you kind of figure out, she's got a whole bunch of different sizes for the body, and then she's got a whole bunch of different sizes for the sleeve. So you actually pick your body and pick your sleeve, like based on the measurements around. And then she's got a formula in it that you plug in your numbers, and it tells you how many sleeve rows you have to knit. Okay. So when I put mine in, you also have to be, though, she's using that is based on your gauge too, right? Okay. For your row gauge and your stitch gauge. So my row gauge was a little bit different, so I had to adjust it. So mine's a little bit different of okay. I don't know if I froze or you froze. Somebody froze. Anyway, okay, can you guys still hear us? Something froze. I don't know what happened froze there on my screen, but
anyway. And you froze on mine.
Oh, did I? Okay, so anyways, you calculate the number of rows. So I've done that number of rows for my back. Then you go ahead and you do the front to so many rows shorter, and then you'll have your scoop for your neckband shaping. So hopefully I'll have that done. Hopefully for next week. That'll actually be a good sweater for going into September, because the sleeves will come down to the elbows. And again, the Sandins Garnlina, it does feel really nice. It's a cotton linen viscose blend. So okay. I think it'll be, I don't know that, again, it's like a DK to a worsted weight. So I don't think I'd want to be wearing it in the heat of summer, but I think that it would be okay for like September into October. So
nice. Very nice.
And you?
Oh, yes, I've got more. So the other thing, because I said I was trying to find projects that were just, mindless knitting. So I picked this one back up again. This was the Sea Haven Tee. I have a banner. I guess I had that for the flax sweater too. This is by Jennifer Shields Tolan, and it's really pretty. So I put in probably about 3 or 4 inches on the body one afternoon when we were driving. You can really see the stitch definition in this. This is also using the Cardi in the color White Rose by the Knitting Loft. I absolutely love this yarn. I love working with this. I love knitting it. So when I started this, it was going to be a short sleeve tee, and then I lagged along so badly that now that I'm picking it back up, I've decided that it's going to be a really great transitional piece. So I'm going to go longer on the sleeves. So I did end up ordering a 3rd skein from the Knitting Loft so that I can get some arm length out of that. But it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's a beautifully written pattern. Again, Jennifer writes beautiful patterns, and I'm just couldn't be happier with it. I love it. So I'm going to get that done, hopefully not in the not too distant future. And then I'll be wearing that for early fall.
Okay. Okay. So my next project or whip is my Lord of the Rings socks. So I am now knitting the Mary socks. This is a pattern by Claire Ellen. All the ones that I've done so far have been by Claire Ellen. She does have, I mean, she's got more than enough patterns for what I need. And this sock, again, I have a picture of it in here. Or maybe I don't. So I'll just have to show you mine. So I've got one done.
Oh, it's turning out so good. I like the contrast heel. Very nice.
I had a hard time decide. Well, I had to do a contrast heel because I had used this yarn before to do heels in another sock. So I didn't have quite enough. I waited after and I thought I'm going to be cutting it close to do the whole heel. So I thought I just could put in another color. And I actually really like how that looks. I wanted to pick a yarn that was similar to because this one, I don't know if you can see it, but it is, the gold is kind of like tweedy when you see it close up. So I didn't want just like a solid color in the heel. But this pattern, again, they're so much fun. Like I can't explain how much I'm enjoying knitting these. So it's got this beautiful cabling that goes up here. And then it's got like kind of like just twisted stitches that form together to go here. Now the original pattern did have all this cabling going down in the heel. Again, I didn't want to do that because I think it's going to be too bulky in a shoe.
Right.
So that's why I just switched and did the plain heel. And then down the front of the sock, you've got like a twisted cable that goes all the way down there. The pattern goes all the way around the back and the front. This yarn is Queensland Collection Tenderfoot, and this is the Goldenrod colorway. This yarn, I believe, is a discontinued yarn. It's a Julie Aslin Nomad, so it's quite a substantial yarn. So is this. The Queensland is actually a little bit of a thicker yarn. So
it's a little rustic.
Again,
I would call it rustic.
It is.
Yes.
It is, but it feels nice. Like it just looks like the right yarn.
I like a rustic sock, or I like a rustic yarn for socks. I really do.
Yeah. So, So again, I got to get the other one. I have to get the other one of these done by the 31st. And then I'll have 10 days before we leave in September. And I'm going to try and get the September one done before I go. But who knows? We'll see. But anyway, that's Mary by Claire Garland.
So before we move forward, though, I'll show this. Barb has just said that our rounded toe recipe is on our episode 43. Thank you so much, Barb.
Thank you so much, Barb.
Coming up with that. Honestly, it takes a village to get us through this. Thank you so much.
Well, I know. I mean, we should have thought of the thing of putting into the title if there was anything specific in the episode, but it took us a little while to figure that out. Just 5 years.
Yeah, we're good now. Thank you, Barb.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Do you have another?
I do. So also started not yesterday. I didn't knit yesterday at all. So maybe the day before. Another thing that Miles has on his list of things that he has to bring to preschool is that they need to have merino socks.
Wow.
They're specific. So Kendall made a phone call because she thought she might know where she could get some merino socks. So I've just cast these on, but they're so cute. I'll show you. There we go.
Oh yeah, that's cute.
Is
that an Arnie and Carlos one?
It is. It's the Regia design line, and I've already made socks in this. These are leftovers, actually.
Yep.
And Kendall has the socks in these. They were a short pair that I made, so I've already gifted those away. And so I thought, I'll make Miles a pair, and then he can have a pair that will match Kendall. But so what I'm making are the I didn't put a brand in. I just did that today, or a banner, sorry. But it's the DRK Everyday Socks by Andrea Mowry. I've made that pattern a few times for myself. So they have a fleagle heel, and this 2x2 rib continues for the entire sock. So it is just a plain knit toe up here. You can see before the pattern starts, but then it's a 2x2 rib, and it's the whole foot. So pretty soon I will start casting on stitches in that 2x2 rib pattern to create that fleagle heel, and then you go up the leg. And so there's no, you just bind off at that point. So they are a toe up. Honestly, they fit really, really well. And Miles has a very wide little foot. So I thought this would be a great pattern for him. they just look so different, because normally when you're making a regular size sock, this design is quite a narrow little strip that's going around. So they get quite thick for little feet, but I think they'll be really cute for them. So hopefully I'll have something of those finished next week to show too.
Okay, so my last thing that I actively worked on is the Charlotte sweater by Asia Colosi. And this is actually a crochet sweater. Here's a picture of the sweater. So it's like kind of like an all over long sleeved, but actually I've tried mine on and it's actually not that open. Like, I mean, I'll probably wear a tank top or something underneath it, but it's not, it's mine. The gauges, I've done it a little bit tighter, so it doesn't look quite as lacy as the picture there. Mm-hmm. So here is what I've got done.
It looks so pretty. I love that.
And the first sleeve is, I have to sew it. I did sew up with the one side seam just so that I could try it on.
So you are making the bell sleeves, or are you still going to add on?
Well, you know what? Because I did my sleeves narrower, they're actually not that wide by the time you get down. So, and then they've got this really nice finishing on the neckband. Like you go around and you do this little picot. She didn't have that on the sleeves, but I thought, I'm going to do it. I think it'll look cute on the sleeves. So I just went around and did it on the sleeves. And yeah, so like, it's crochet is so much fun.
I know, right?
Crochet and fast.
It's fast too.
So yeah, so I've just got the other sleeve to do. And yeah, like I really like it. So
it's very pretty. It's a beautiful color.
Yeah, this is the Barocco Vintage DK, and this color is guava. So I think I've got 50 grams left of the third ball, so I don't know if I'll get it all out of 3 balls or not. So crochet does take up more yarn than knitting, but then you're doing like kind of a more lacy stitch. But I'm really gonna look for more crochet patterns because it was fun. Yeah, and I slip stitched together the shoulders.
Yes.
The sleeves, I thought that the pattern was a little bit confusing, I have to say, when it came to going around, and you don't pick up stitches because you're crocheting into the pattern that's already there.
Yes.
So I kind of just did what I thought was the right thing. So, and it turned out okay. So I just like, she had said to go so far down, and it didn't, like when I was counting rows, I don't know if rows are counted differently, but it wasn't what I counted. So and it was more for just where you start and stop. So I just measured my own arm and figured out for myself where I was going to start and stop the sleeve. And you just had to have a multiple of so many to continue the stitch pattern. So hopefully I'll have that done by next week. And again, I think that'll be a good piece for going into fall. You could easily wear that over a t-shirt, even a sports bra. You could wear that over a sports bra, camisole. Yeah. And I thought, and nice, you could do one like that and do it longer and do like in a linen-y cotton yarn and do a bathing suit cover up.
Yes, you could. It would also be pretty just over a very basic dress. Like I'm thinking, sort of those Old Navy styled, they're like a jersey cotton dress. So they're just like a little bit of a swing dress. They look like a tank top, but a little flared out, like a little bit of an A-line. Mm-hmm. A sweater like that would look really pretty over them too. So yeah, nice. Very nice.
Okay. And do you have
nope, that's it. I also worked on my Mayak shawl, and I think I am 2 color rows or 2 color sections away from finishing, but I said I wouldn't show it again until it's done. So I plan to get that finished this week too. Mm-hmm.
That's all that I've actively worked on. So my Jethro, I haven't done anymore. I've been concentrating on getting this one done, but I will pick that up again. I'm telling you, I got on the frog kick, and I just couldn't stop doing the frogs.
I also brought with me 2 other sweaters to start and another sock yarn to cast on new socks, plus my Mystic Wave socks, which I only have one done of. So I really overestimated how much time I was going to spend knitting, because I cannot believe that we are already a week into this trip. So I'm like practically a third of the way through, and I have not finished a third of the knitting that I brought. So something is by my simple counting, it's not adding up. But okay. And yes, thank you, Amy, for jumping in and answering that question. I am indeed using the 5mm needles for that little flax sweater. And it was fun. Actually, I won't lie. It was fun to go up to something on a larger circumference, because I had been working pretty exclusively on that Couture tee with that Durum Natura Antigone, and it was fine work. So it was really fun to get onto something super quick. I think that was like an afternoon in the truck, all of that knit. So that was super fast. But yeah.
And Joanne, you're right. It's better to have too much knitting with you than not enough, because
right. What if I finished everything, and then what would I be doing? I don't know. I
have not ever been on a trip where I finished everything that I brought.
Absolutely.
Ever. Yeah. I don't even know if I've been on a trip that I've actually worked on everything that I brought.
Exactly. That's what I figure. If I at least work on everything that I brought, then I should feel somewhat accomplished, right? That I've at least worked on everything. But I would like to have a few finishes, at least a few. Yes, I have seen Summer Lee's Colorwork Cuff Club. Beth McDonald Stone actually just finished a pair of socks using Summer Lee's first cuff. Very cute, very cute. So, yeah. And it's fun. Sarah's been enjoying knitting on the larger needles too. It's fun to have that little bit of that change, like to go from something on a small needle and then all of a sudden to hop to a larger needle. So, yeah. Do you have anything else that you're working on? No, you said
no, I don't.
So I haven't found a yarn store yet, but there are some in my future. I know that we are heading in the direction of a couple of places. It's pretty remote here. In fact, the closest town to us is just a few miles up the road. The town is called Interior, and I think the population was 63.
And there wasn't a yarn store?
They don't have a yarn store. What they do have is a corner store called Cowboy Corner, and I think the gas pumps are at least 50 years old there. It was wonderful. Maybe I'll just show. Is it a good time to show a few pictures? Okay.
Sure.
So, I want to talk about this picture first. I'll show this first. So this is a statue that we passed. It's just outside of Chamberlain, South Dakota. The statue is called Dignity, and it was made by a local artist. He used 3 women to model this for him. I forget how many, those little plates that you see in there are, and she's actually called Dignity of the Earth and Sky. And those little colorful plates, they blow and they move in the wind. And it was incredibly windy there that day. And so the purpose behind the statue is to show the between the Lakota and the Dakota tribes, and it's absolutely stunning. She's very, very tall. I think she's about 50 feet tall, and even when you are coming up the trail from behind her, the whole back is it's supposed to. So she is in a traditional prairie style clothing, and that is to represent one of the quilts that they would have made. It's an absolutely powerful, moving statue. It's just incredible to see. And she is perched atop. You can just barely see in that bottom left-hand corner. She is at the junction of the Missouri River. So it's very, very beautiful to stand up there and look out. And then we did make it, one of the places that we stopped just outside, we went to the town of Wall, which has a population of 1,400 people. But what it's known for is the Wall drugstore. And when I call it a drugstore, there is a small apothecary in there, but then there's also stores in there of absolutely everything else you can imagine. It is 76,000 square feet big, and 2 million people a year stop here in this tiny town of Wall to go into the Wall drugstore. They give you free ice water, and there's 5-cent coffees. And that is kind of their claim to fame of what they're known for. But anything you wanted to find, you could find it at the Wall drugstore, Wall Drug. And they start showing you signs, hundreds of miles ahead of Wall drugstore. And then I have just one more. I thought I had 2. I do. Hold on. Okay, so then this is an image from the Badlands last night. And we are just outside of the park. And the park, we did a big park loop yesterday, and we drove all the way through it. It's absolutely stunning. this was my attempt last night to get a sunset. It looked so, so promising. The sun was going down. It was lighting the clouds. And then we were trying to find the good spot. This is called Panorama Point. And once it got too far down to the horizon, it fell behind a cloud bank and we lost the sun. So tonight we are actually going to go out a little bit earlier, and because the sun will paint those mountains in the color, those formations in colors you just can't imagine. And then this is just a little bit yesterday from our hike out into the Badlands. And it's just incredible. It's the geology that behind this is it's amazing to like look everywhere you want to look, and you just see all of these beautiful colors and formations. And we went for a long drive yesterday after our hike too on our way to Wall, and we saw so many cool things just out in the prairie grasses, and those prairie grasses stretch on for miles and miles. And you think about like how flat a surface can be, and like you can't see where the road disappears. It's so flat and so long. It's just amazing to see. So we are really having a great time. And so I'm just trying to get some photos onto Instagram every day. If you don't follow me, I guess we could put our banner up there. Whoops, not there. Hold on, I'll get there. There we go. There's my name on Instagram and Noelle's name underneath her. If you want to follow along on the journey, on the trip to Yellowstone, then there's lots more photos on there as well. I've been trying to post every day. So yeah, we're having a great time. Great time.
Okay. Well, on the way home from Muskoka, we did stop at a yarn store in Mitchell. That was where I thought was... Originally, I thought it was Mitchell's Bay, which is a totally different direction, but no. So we stopped in to Mitchell, and very cute little yarn store. I've got a couple of little pictures. And Mitchell's not a very big town, and it's probably maybe about, maybe half an hour to 45 minutes north of London, Ontario. And the shop was just right on the main street. So she carries quite a few different indie dyers. She's got a really good wall of needles, but she's got all this gorgeous hand dyed. So of course I couldn't come away with nothing. And actually it was when I walked into the shop, the owner, and I think her name's Karen, she had her TV on, and it was KnitChat was on TV. I'm like, oh no. She goes, is that you? And I'm like, yeah. So anyways, I'm like, we can turn it off. So anyways,
wow.
that was kind of like slightly overwhelming. But anyway, she was super nice, and I did pick out a few things in the store. And first of all, she gave us a prize to give away on the podcast.
Oh, wow.
And I believe that her name was Karen. And I know Wendy was in here earlier, and Wendy knows her. So Wendy, if that's not right, let me know so I can correct it. So they actually have a lot of yarn from Polka Dot Creek and from Rose Hill yarns.
Oh,
okay. And I know we've had those before. So this sock set is Polka Dot Creek, but this is a colorway that they do specifically for. They do this specifically for their yarn shop. So this is the Itty Bitty Yarn Co. colorway.
Oh my gosh.
So it's got like this.
I would have had you get me a set. That's amazing. That's so pretty.
This is the eggplant and electric green. And then the main skein there's got speckles of both colors in it. And then there's also a little knitting charm also that's on it for a progress keeper. And so she gave us that and this little... So it's got her store colors on it with the purple and the green.
Oh, wow. So that is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So we're going to have that to give away. I was thinking maybe we could use that. Well, we'll use that as a prize in one of our upcoming giveaways. So yes, I was thinking maybe even the use a new designer.
Very nice.
So, okay. So then
yes,
this
it is
also,
Karen, she said, yes.
Is this Karen? That's what I thought. Yes. Yeah. So this is Polka Dot Creek, and I didn't know they did self-striping. So this is self-striping.
I have not used that yarn yet.
Oh, it's called Christmas Village, And it works up really pretty. This is self-striping, but it comes with the 50 gram and the 20 gram. So
I like that.
I really like that. And I needed another yarn for my Lord of the Rings. So this is Midnight Cravings. She had Midnight Cravings in there.
Oh,
so
very nice.
This is a really pretty color. This is Kelp Forest, and this is actually an 85-15. So it's 85% merino, 15% nylon. It's really squishy, really nice yarn. I think a textured sock's going to show up really nice in that. And then she also had yarn by the Frosted Stitch. Do you remember seeing them at?
Yes. And Kawartha. They were in Kawartha, were they not? Or was it?
They were at Knit City Montreal. Yeah, they were at Knit City Toronto. I don't know if they were in Kawartha, but they were at Knit City Toronto. So I just
beautiful.
Couldn't resist that. Her colors, the Frosted Stitch colors, are so vibrant. So pretty, they're just gorgeous colors. So this is her Snowflake sock. And this color is called Cardamom. So I thought it was too pretty just to make socks out of, so I had to get two so I could make some kind of a top out of it. So yeah, so thank you to Karen. That's a beautiful prize, and we really appreciate it. And it's gorgeous and gorgeous color. And I don't know, we'll have to maybe take a little trip up there sometime. It's not that far.
Yeah. Actually, Klaska is saying that Shelley is known for her self-striping, and she just opened a second store in Cochrane called the Polka Dot Boutique.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
Okay. Yeah, I like the ones that come with the 50 grams and the 20.
So do
I. Then I won't have any. But then I won't have any left to knit a frog sweater. So
I think you have some leftovers for frog.
Anyway, yeah. So that was fun on the way home. So
okay.
And we should maybe quickly talk about our knit-alongs.
Sure.
Since we're talking about a prize for one of them.
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you tell us about our sock make-along?
Socks are the easy one to remember. You just knit the socks and then you post them in our year-long sock along. And it doesn't matter when you started the socks. It's just what matters is when you finish them. And we draw 2 prizes each month. We draw all the way back to the beginning of the year. There is a pattern prize generously donated by our friend Natalie of Remembrances Pottery. And then there is also a sock yarn prize each month. And that's how that rolls. So the sooner you get them in the year, the more opportunity they would have for chances to win, because we do draw each month. So,
okay. And then we also have our Advent along. So that's basically so that you can work on things now in order to prepare for Christmas, so that you don't have to try and fit so many things into December. So for me, I'm doing my Lord of the Rings socks. So I'm trying to get 1 pair done a month. So when it comes to December, I'll have all the 12 adult pairs done, and I won't be rushing to finish 2 or 3 pairs like in the week before Christmas. So, but it doesn't have to be something like that. Kelly's doing
1 pair of socks.
Advent socks. Yeah, but Advent socks. So you're doing a little bit different section of it every month. You could be working on a shawl with maybe some of your Advent minis that you've actually got in previous Advents. Could be a sweater that you're doing with Advent minis, or just a sweater that you're doing that you want to have ready for Christmas. And for that one, we've got a chatter thread in there right now. And at the end of every quarter, we draw a prize from that. And then at the beginning of December, we will open a finished object thread so that you can post what you finished in the month of December. Yeah. So, okay.
And then finally is our try on a new designer. And we are running that through from July the 1st through to the end of September 30th. And you are to make a pattern that is a designer that is new to you. So a designer that you have not knit a pattern or made a pattern by before. And there were some stipulations which have completely lost my mind, or left my mind.
I think basically it could be a garment. It could be a frog. If you've never done anything from
that's right.
Garment,
well, no, I think was there a 50 gram?
No,
minimum?
The only thing was
you just couldn't be socks.
You just can't be socks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, because there's lots of great designers out there, and it's nice to, it's nice. Like, I love watching podcasts where I see something new that they've brought in, because I know this one, I think I saw on a podcast, because I mean, you just can't possibly see everything that's out there. So it makes a difference when you actually see something that someone else has made. And sometimes it's not even a matter of you may have seen the pattern. It could be a matter of
you didn't see it knit that way, or it's
exactly
done interpreted differently. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the choice of color makes, like, we all have color preferences. Like, even the choice of color makes a difference to how you perceive a pattern when you see it. So, you know, and I know for me, like, a lot of times it takes a while for a pattern to kind of grow on me. Like, I might see it at first and not particularly care for it. And then I'll see somebody that's done it with a color that looks absolutely stunning. And all of a sudden
then you decide you have to have it. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So this way it's kind of getting you, you know, to kind of look and see some different ones. And we'd like to know what they are too. So
yay. Sarah's working on 2 projects for the designer
the
Makealong.
Advent.
No, for the new
for the
Makealong. Good.
Yep.
Very good.
So,
and Julia's doing a merriment for her Advent. I know that, and she's doing an amazing job. It's so pretty.
Yes, and she's doing some Granny Square chickens.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely.
I know crochet is great if you haven't tried it.
Yes,
like I am not.
I've been rebitten by the bug, and you've been newly bitten by the bug.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I did crochet. I could always make Afghans and stuff, but I've never really done anything that was a garment or So, but yeah, it's fun.
No, it doesn't, Katie. It does not need to be a modern designer. It can be any designer. It's just as long as you've never made a project by that designer before.
Yeah. So, and I mean, there are designs around that have been, you know, designs by, well, even when you look at the flax sweater, like how old is that?
Yeah, it's been around a while. Yeah.
I mean, it's not even, you could look at some of the ones by Elizabeth Zimmerman. She does that baby surprise sweater. Like, that's been around forever. But if it's the first time that you've done it, then it's new to you. So,
okay.
But,
all right. Well, I think that's all we have for tonight.
I think that is.
Can hear some people outside now. And I know that I've got shish kebabs marinating in the fridge that we're going to cook up for dinner. And then we're going to go chase that sun tonight and get some proper photos in the valleys. And then maybe a game of cornhole before we light the fire. So yeah, we've got a big night.
Yeah. Well,
you would be surprised, Noelle. I have been going to bed earlier at night here, and I've been getting up earlier too. The days are long. We're busy. And by the time night rolls around, I'm ready for bed. So I'm actually getting some great sleep. Yeah.
Good. So. Okay, well, take care, everybody. We will be back next week. We hope that you have an amazing week. And thank you so much for taking the time to spend it with us. And yeah, we really enjoy Tuesday evening. So take care and happy knitting.
Mm-hmm.